In this video, I go over the dress attire I use for going to indoor matches.
He's blasting everybody!
In continuing with this series inside my equipment, I'm going to touch bases on what I use to shoot indoor matches. Now, indoor matches are a great thing, largely because you can shoot them during the week, they're fairly quick, and they're a great experience. Now, before I dive into all the specifics of what I use at an indoor match, I do want to mention that you should like and subscribe to this video because I have some more awesome content coming out related to what I use for my equipment, such as the specifics related to either USPSA, IDPA, outdoor matches, and even summer and winter attire. What's interesting for an indoor match is that the HVAC systems can be kind of interesting in them. So I do kind of advocate to lean towards the conservative side of dressing a little light. For this video, I will mention that you should probably just start with shirt and shorts because it's always too easy to dress up rather than to dress down. Now, starting with my ear protection, I actually favor using ear muffs. The reason for that is because the sound is actually magnified inside the actual range. And so what sounds normal outdoors is going to be magnified probably by about 2x. Now part that in there with a USPSA open gun with 38 super comp and popple holes, you're going to be mad. I can't advocate enough that you should stick with either a pair of walkers or what I actually use is a pair of Pelletors, so I can actually hear everything that's going on, including range commands, and if anything, it sounds like I'm barely shooting. The next item I want to touch on is my eye protection. Now, I started out using clear lenses until I became a fan of yellow lenses, particularly for indoors. And a large part of that is because it's rather dim in an indoor facility. So yellow actually brightens everything up, so it's easier to see targets, sights, even a dot. Now, what I particularly like to use and I love are these Hunter's HDs. The reason for that is not only are they yellow, but when I go outside, they darken up. So I'm hitting essentially two birds with one stone when I do this. Now, working my way down, I'll get into rigging in another video when I get into range equipment and more of those specifics. So with that said, I'm gonna move to shoes. Now, in an indoor match, what you actually have to worry about more than anything is traction. And the reason for that is because they have these nice polished surfaces typically, and then you couple that with gunpowder, lead, and dust, and put that on, that's a recipe for you to slip. So I can't advocate enough that you should be wearing shoes that are non-slip. In my case, I prefer a pair of Brooks. I find that personally they have the right amount of traction and I can kind of leak through. Now, just as a quick tip to this, if you are in a range where you're not sure what your traction is on your walkthrough, or at least any time during that match, if you have the opportunity to walk through and just kind of lean a little bit into position, you'll feel how much traction you end up having. In an indoor facility, it doesn't have quite the perfect HVAC system typically to suck out all the gunpowder, lead, and things that are going in the air as you're shooting. What I tried to do is I actually try to have a separate set of clothes that I can change into, just usually a shirt and pants after the match. And I end up putting those in a bag, and by the time I get home, I put them in a separate hamper. Now, as far as any shoes I end up wearing, I leave those outside. I don't want to present any opportunity for lead to come inside the house. So again, think about the lead contamination, not only for yourself, but everything around you, your animals, your kids, your spouse. Nobody wants lead poisoning at the end of the day, so just keep that in mind. And if you have any questions about how to dress for an indoor match, leave your comments below. I'll be happy to answer them, or at the very least learn something. Until then, we'll see you soon.